Welcome to the prequel. This is basically episode 0 of the upcoming podcast. And I'm shooting this for a couple reasons. I want to see how I like the visuals, the audio, the sound, how to edit it correctly, get some feedback from my peers, aka y'all. Okay. So I appreciate you being on here today. It's very important. And whether that's 15, 25, 30 of you, if you haven't yet subscribed to the YouTube, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and turn on the bell because this will be a weekly podcast starting after this week. This is just the prequel week as I figure everything out. It may take a little bit of time to get everything pushed to all the platforms, but I will definitely upload to YouTube. And as I figure out how to get everything to every platform, you'll start seeing it show up on there as well. So thank you for being in this trial run period. You guys are great for that. Okay, so this podcast is going to cover everything. The first thing is the name is Hindsight. Hindsight. So that's Hindsight, the way you spell my name with the Y-N-E. And then the actual word hindsight, Hindsight, baby. So lots of reasons why I'm doing that. I'll get into that later. I'm going to cover a variety of topics. And as I get into a groove, I think it's going to be really cool to see what things pop up. I'm going to make it as music related as possible, but I'm going to also talk about a lot of mental health, a lot of preparation stuff, a lot of entrepreneur stuff, a lot of sales talk, probably. Just basically, I'm going to put out what I've learned back into the universe, back into the people's ears, and without a cost, just completely free. And all the reason why is there's just a few things that, one, I want to learn. Let me let my cat out of the room. Oh, wait, hang on. She's fine. There's a few things that I want to learn. And the best way I learn sometimes is I just talk out loud. And by talking out loud, it's realized that it helps me formulate these thoughts that I would have never had inside my own head. And that's just really cool to think about, basically coming up with things for the first time. That inspires me a lot. The second thing is if I just help one person per episode get through a hard time or get through even good times can be hard to get through sometimes. I'm sorry if you ever hear my cat meow or screech or whatever. She's quite crazy. Hopefully you'll meet her on the show when she's not being crazy. I also want to play some music every now and then for you guys, play my music, show you what I've been working on, what I've been cooking up. I also I'm going to have guests on. I'm going to have my friend Zach will probably be on a lot of the episodes helping out. He might be helping out with the interview style format, basically someone I can bounce ideas off of. So that way it's just not me talking all the time. I know you don't want to hear that or see that. And also, I'm going to be telling stories about other artists. I'm probably going to do an artist of the week where I talk about local artists that are that I know personally, that I met through online communities. So if you're watching this right now and you want to be artist of the week next week, drop your name and a song below and maybe DM me or put in the comments why you think you deserve to be artist of the week. And I would love to look at you, look at your sound, your profile, and give you a big shout out. I'm going to be doing that every single week. Another thing I'll be talking about often is the psychology behind artists, big artists like, Skrillex and Flume. And I'm going to dissect their interviews and find out some main common themes that they're talking about and give you guys that information right back to you as well. That way you can have, without having to search for, and watch 45 minutes of interviews every single time you want a small piece of knowledge. I'm going to try to find the best information I can and condense it down into knowledge for you guys that you can watch and easily find and read. This episode won't be nearly as long. I plan on having each episode between 30 minutes and an hour. And you're like, oh, that's so long. Well, every single podcaster I listen to does 2 to 3 hour episodes. So if you don't want to watch it that long, then don't watch it that long. And I also I love making music and I definitely want to do that as a career, but I also want to have backup revenue, backup ideas, backup things that keep me going, backup things that keep me inspired. And one of those things that I love to do is to talk. I love to speak. I want to do speaking gigs. So if you're watching this right now and you like anything I say and you got a speaking gig, let me know. I'd love to come and speak to, maybe a school or maybe a church or maybe something where my opinion can be heard and reflected upon. I love to motivate. I've helped people find their dreams. I love to make people feel loved. I've talked to people that have been close to committing suicide and helped out with that. And I'm passionate about that. I'm not proud, but I'm passionate. And if you're feeling suicidal, I want to help you too. So DM me, email me, reach out to me, and I will help you the best I can. I will at least listen to you and show you that you are loved by at least one individual on this earth. I know that's a lot, kind of. I just talked about that. There's also going to be a lot of lighthearted topics, a lot of funny stuff, and a lot of just life things, right? What are we lifing about? We're going through life, and it's up to us to decipher, how to maneuver through it and how to learn from it and how to get over trauma and how to store good memories for later when you need them, and how to take great wins, big and small, and attach those to who you are as a person. So that way you always have basically a way to dig out of a hole. You can access your memory bank for your accomplishments to help dig yourself out of holes. I also want to, apart from the podcast, also start a on-screen beat making thing where I use OBS probably to make beats on my screen on my computer and show people how to make beats the way I make them and the way I learned how to make them. I won't use very much of my MIDI controllers. I'll basically do everything by mouse. So that way, if most people only start out with a computer and don't have the money for everything else, so I want to show people how to make beats the raw way without all the fancy equipment. Okay, so that's important to me because when I first started out, I had a laptop that was dying, and it went out, and I went and put my Mac on a credit card, baby, which is now paid off. Now, thank the Lord. Thank you to my wife's mom for helping me in those hard times too. We are here. It's 2021. We're halfway through. And basically, it's a great time to evaluate life because who knows how much longer we really going to be alive. We got COVID, mutations. We got the government. We got, chaos in the streets. So who knows how long we're going to be alive. And that's what's really inspired me to start this podcast. I'm like, man, I've always wanted to do a podcast. I feel like my odds of survival have gone down. So let's go ahead and get in it. Let's get active. Let's get talking. Let's get speaking. So that way we can speak it and we can listen. And maybe one day, if this thing grows and we survive, Lord willing, maybe one day I'll get to interview and talk to some of my podcast heroes and peers. And I would really love to speak to a couple people, even if it's not on a recorded set. Just I want to find my way into the world and get to know people. So I think today what I'll do is now you kind of know what it's going to be about, what we're going to be talking about. I think I just want to get into one quick topic or story, basically about persistence. When there's people in life that are in your way as far as, making it hard to accomplish a goal, or there's people that are just making your life hard, you got to find ways around it. You got to find ways to get through it. Sometimes head on isn't always the best way. Sometimes you have to be patient and let people fall apart. Sometimes you have to do things that basically keep you in a calm state of mind. And you have to persist through objections. You have to persist through failures. You have to persist through a bunch of things. And I just think that unless your parents or you did sports and unless you were really taught the value of not giving up, you may not feel these things eternally. And I give up on so much stuff, man. I'm a failure. I'm not going to lie to you. I failed so many times at so many things. I've given up on so much in my life. It weighs on me heavy. And that's not cool. I got to let go of some of that stuff. And I got to reteach myself how to be a winner. Sometimes how to get that Mamba mentality back. And that's what I'm here for today, to remind you that, one, we're not all perfect. Even the people that you see consistently out here doing things online and putting in the work and they have full-time jobs, this is not the time to beat yourself up. This is the time to get inspired. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all have the same amount of time. Most of us have phones. So if you're trying to become a content creator and you're not finding time for content, you got to find time for content. You gotta make yourself more available. You gotta give yourself some more access to yourself. Because how can the world find you if you won't even give yourself the time to find yourself? That's real right there. That's what I was talking about earlier. I don't sometimes know ideas, so I speak them out loud. Maybe you should, in a non creepy way, talk to yourself out loud a little bit more around your house when it's just you and you have the freedom and the right to be a little weird. And do it. Talk to yourself a little bit. Figure out what ideas you have that truly inspire you. Write them on paper. Okay? Become you. So this is the prequel to Hindsight's Insights. No, Hindsight's Hindsight. Sorry, don't even. It's so early in the process. I'm having trouble with my own name. Hindsight's Hindsight, episode 0, the prequel. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in, like, subscribe, and comment, and be prepared because we are going all in for the rest of this year and forever.